If you're a history buff, you need to hear about Carcar Cebu. This town, nestled in the heart of Cebu, is a treasure trove of historical wonders and cultural richness that dates back over a century. Imagine stepping back in time to a place where every corner tells a story, every building whispers secrets of the past, and every street is a pathway to a bygone era. Picture this. Spanish-era architecture, bustling sugar mills, and a community steeped in tradition. The town was a vibrant hub of activity, with its streets echoing the sounds of daily life, from the clatter of horse-drawn carts to the lively chatter of its residents. The architecture alone is a testament to the town's rich history, with buildings that have stood the test of time, each brick and stone narrating tales of yesteryears. In the early 20th century, Carcar Cebu was a town deeply influenced by Spanish colonial rule. The Spanish had left an indelible mark on the town, not just in its architecture, but in its very way of life. The streets were lined with colonial-style houses, each one a piece of history, and the town centre was a bustling marketplace where locals gathered to trade goods and share stories. The Spanish brought Christianity, leaving behind majestic churches like the St. Catherine of Alexandria Church. This church, with its grand facade and intricate details, was more than just a place of worship. It was a symbol of the town's faith and resilience. It stood as a beacon of hope and a gathering place for the community where people came together to celebrate, mourn, and find solace. This colonial influence shaped not just the town's skyline, but also its soul. The buildings, with their distinct Spanish features, were a constant reminder of the town's past, while the traditions and customs passed down through generations kept the spirit of the old days alive. The town was a living, breathing museum where history was not just preserved, but celebrated. Economically, Carcar thrived on agriculture. The fertile lands surrounding the town were perfect for farming, and the locals took full advantage of this. Agriculture was the backbone of the town's economy, providing sustenance and livelihood for its residents. The fields were a patchwork of green, with crops swaying gently in the breeze, a sight that was both beautiful and vital to the town's survival. Picture vast fields of sugarcane and corn, with bustling sugar mills driving the local economy. These mills were the lifeblood of Carcar, processing the raw materials that were grown in the fields and turning them into products that were traded far and wide. The mills were a hive of activity, with workers toiling day and night to keep the wheels of the economy turning. These mills were the heartbeat of Carcar, pushing the town forward in an era when most transportation was by foot, horse-drawn carts or small boats. The roads were dusty and uneven, but they were the lifelines that connected the town to the rest of Cebu. The sight of a horse-drawn cart trundling down the road, laden with goods, was a common one, and it was a reminder of the town's industrious spirit. Roads and bridges were just starting to weave the town closer to the rest of Cebu. These infrastructures were crucial in opening up the town to new opportunities and connections. The bridges spanned rivers and streams, linking communities and making travel easier. The roads, though rudimentary, were the arteries that kept the town's heart beating, allowing for the flow of people, goods, and ideas. Architecturally, Carcar was a living museum of Spanish-era buildings. Each structure was a piece of art with its own unique story to tell. The houses, with their red-tiled roofs and ornate balconies, were a blend of Spanish and Filipino styles, reflecting the town's rich cultural heritage. Walking through the streets of Carcar was like stepping into a different time, where the past and present coexisted in perfect harmony. Colonial-style houses and churches stood tall, telling stories of a bygone era. These buildings were more than just structures. They were the keepers of the town's history, each one holding memories of the people who lived, worked, and worshipped within their walls. The churches, with their towering spires and intricate carvings, were the heart of the community, places where people came together to celebrate their faith and traditions. The St. Catherine of Alexandria Church was not just a place of worship, but a landmark that echoed through time. Its walls had witnessed countless events, from joyous weddings to solemn funerals, and its bells had rung out in times of celebration and sorrow. The church was a symbol of the town's enduring faith and a testament to the resilience of its people. Culturally, Carcar was alive with traditional Filipino festivals and dances. These celebrations were a vibrant tapestry of color, music, and movement, reflecting the town's rich cultural heritage. The festivals were a time for the community to come together, to celebrate their shared history and traditions, and to pass these on to the next generation. The dances, with their intricate steps and colorful costumes, were a sight to behold, a living link to the past. The community's strong family and community ties made every celebration a vibrant tapestry of heritage. Family was at the heart of everything, and the bonds between relatives were strong and enduring. Community events were a time for everyone to come together, to share in each other's joys and sorrows, and to strengthen the ties that bound them. These gatherings were a testament to the town's sense of unity and belonging. Education in Carcar was a mixed bag. While there were schools, the quality and availability of education varied greatly. For many, education was a luxury, something that was out of reach due to economic constraints. However, the community valued learning, and there were efforts to provide basic education to as many children as possible. While elementary schools were present, higher education was a luxury few could afford. The schools that did exist were often small and under-resourced, but they were a beacon of hope for many children. Education was seen as a way to a better future, and parents made great sacrifices to ensure their children could attend school, even if it was just for a few years. Most learning revolved around basic literacy and religious teachings. The curriculum was simple, focusing on reading, writing, and arithmetic, with a strong emphasis on religious instruction. The church played a central role in education, and many of the teachers were clergy or lay people associated with the church. This education, though basic, was a foundation that helped shape the character and values of the community. So there you have it, a snapshot of Carcar Cebu 100 years ago, a town rich in history, culture, and community, where the past is always present and the future is built on the foundations of tradition. Carcar is a place where every street, every building, and every person has a story to tell. A story that is woven into the very fabric of the town. A town where history, culture, and community were as intertwined as sugarcane in the fields. Fascinating, right? Carcar is not just a place on a map. It's a living, breathing testament to the resilience and spirit of its people. It's a place where the past and present coexist, where traditions are cherished, and where the community thrives on its rich heritage. So the next time you find yourself in Cebu, take a trip to Carcar and step back in time to experience the magic of this historical gem.